Hello, my name is Dan Nowazik. I am the Southern Region Water Treatment Supervisor for St. Johns County. This is the 214, County Road 214 Mainland Water Plant, and we're going to give you a tour here, show you a little bit about how things work. This pipe behind me is where our raw water comes from the well field. Comes up, everything comes through this pipe. You can see it's metered. We keep track of the water we pull out of the ground, compare it to the water we finish with, and report that to the management district. Second stage of the process is basically an underground tee. This water that comes in from the raw pipe is halved off, split in half. Half the water goes to RO treatment. The other half goes through these vessels behind you, which are filters for what we call the blend water. And that blend water is added together with the RO water to keep it affordable. Okay, we're following the blend side of the water that we just explained earlier. That blend water comes over here, okay? We have to lower that pH. We use a sulfuric acid to do that, to go through the degasification process. Okay, that's these towers. They're filled with sort of wiffle ball objects to spread out the surface area of the water. Forced air comes up from the bottom as the water comes down from the top and removes hydrogen sulfide, which is the rotten egg smell that you might smell on occasion. We raise the pH afterward with sodium hydroxide, bring it back up to normal levels as it heads over to disinfection. And that's pretty much what's going on here. The RO water that we're going to go see in a minute also gets degassed over here as well. It goes through the same process. Okay, when the raw water or the blend water and the RO water are combined and go through the degasification process, this is actually a clear well tank beneath the towers. All right, so that water beneath the towers is pumped with these light blue pumps, okay? Pumped over toward our storage facilities, all right? And a couple of chemicals are added on the way. Disinfection occurs over there. pH raised. We talked about the sodium hydroxide that's injected right here in the blue pipe as it's heading over for disinfection. Now we have both waters combined coming over from the clear well. We have to start our disinfection process. The chlorine is injected here on this pipe on the right. Okay, we also add ammonia because free chlorine is not our process. We use a chloramine, which is a combination of ammonia and chlorine for disinfection to keep trihalomethanes low, stop producing trihalomethanes. But our ammonia tank here, and we have an injector, carrier water. Chlorine also injected here at the static mixer. Okay, and once the disinfection is done, the water, by the pressure of the pumps we looked at a few minutes ago, goes into these two storage tanks. These are our high service pumps. They pull water from these tanks and push it out to the public. Okay, at that point, the water is finished, it's treated, it's ready for drinking. To maintain a good pressure in the system, the small building behind me has our variable frequency drives. Those drives will speed or slow the pumps to maintain whatever pressure we select. So you don't have big pressure fluctuations out in the system. Okay, we looked at the blend cartridge filter vessels outside when we hit that T and we followed the blend water. Now we're going to follow the RO water line, and that half of the water that was split off comes here. First step is these cartridge filter vessels. Same thing we saw outside, but this protects the RO system from any large particulate that might come through from the wells. These are our feed pumps. The RO process requires a greater pressure than the wells can provide. So these pumps step up that pressure to about 145 to 150 pounds for the RO process. And then that water moves in this way. Okay, we have 2 reverse osmosis skids. All right, each one of these white vessels is filled with membranes about 3 foot long each. All right, that water is pushed into these membranes. Basically, the good water comes out the smaller pipe, right? And then we lose 15% of the water we call concentrate, where all the salts or any contaminants, salts, other molecules we don't want are taken out with the concentrate and stored, currently sent to a wastewater plant for treatment. So we get 85% of what we put in, we get out as drinking water. Okay, throughout the process, every 2 hours, we call this our lab area. An operator tests the water for alkalinity, hardness, etc. And that's done every 2 hours to monitor, physically check. We also have electronic analyzers throughout the process to help check the water, make sure everything's working right. Okay, this is our operator, our control room for the entire plant. Most everything can be controlled right here. System pumps turned on and off, pressures raised or lowered, skids turned on or turned off depending on the demand for water. But 99% of what we do can be done from right here, except for, of course, our booster stations out around the system. But they can be turned on and off from here. Okay, and then we have our finished product. Delicious.